was like, oh, 37 years until I retire. I could do this. I don't have a savings account. There's hardly anything in my 401k. I'm not retiring.
There was no Affirm during the last recession. You're going to end up financing a pizza. Imagine defaulting on your house because you financed a pizza. But you're going to have to because we're so cooked. And people are going to be financing glizzies. There's going to be a glizzy bailout.
If you've ever traveled outside of the United States, then you know that the American dream isn't what we thought it was. There is a heaviness that I experience immediately when I return back to this country after traveling. After witnessing in other countries how they live with so little, but they're so happy, it gets harder and harder to come back and exist in this capitalist society, because once you've experienced that taste, it gets harder to put yourself back in this box that the United States has created for us. Call me crazy, but I choose to believe that we were created for more than giving our lives to capitalism, and I believe that we are creative beings and we were meant to create and connect and have community and experience freedom and peace. And there's a reason that we're all sick, unhappy and stressed and working ourselves into a hole. It's all creating this false sense of security, this, oh, I'm safe now, I have these things that I've acquired that are going to keep me safe, I feel secure now. The only certainty in this life is uncertainty.
Man, honestly, fuck the American dream. The American dream ain't never did nothing for nobody but put them in some goddamn debt. You buy a house, you in debt. You buy a car, you in debt. You start a business, you in debt. You try to go to school, you in debt. You telling me there ain't shit we can do in this life to where a motherfucker ain't gotta be in debt? Like nothing? And it's like, I know God intended for us to do more than just clock in and die. Because at this fucking point, that's all we doing. We barely making enough to survive and we clocking in and dying. That's all the fuck.
What if I told you the American dream isn't just slipping away, it's already dead for millions? Home ownership, staple jobs, upward mobility. This used to define success, but today they have become myths. Let's talk about why Americans are giving up on the dreams that built this nation. The American dream once meant that if you worked hard, you would succeed. But now, even 2 jobs aren't enough. Rent is sky high, wages are stagnant, and student debt is crashing. According to Pew Research, over 60% of Americans believe the next generation will be worse off than their parents. That's not a dream, that's a warning. The top 1% owns more than half of the wealth of the country, while the middle class shrinks every year. Wall Street breaks record, but the Main Street goes bankrupt. Millennials and Gen Z are asking, what's the point of the grind if we will never own a home, pay off debts, or retire? Let's get real. Was the American dream ever meant for everyone, or was it always about keeping the rich and the rest of Americans chasing hope? Schools in poor districts crumble. If the American dream is broken, then what replaces it? Or is it time to reimagine success entirely, not in dollar, but in dignity, fairness, freedom from economic anxiety? This isn't just a conversation, it's a crisis. But the first step to change is awareness. Like, share, and subscribe if you believe it's time to confront the truth about the American dream. And if you are living in it or watching it collapse, I want to hear your story. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
I have 2 grown daughters. I have 3 small granddaughters. And look, keeping dolls affordable, keeping our kids' toys affordable, that really is part of the American dream. I remember recently the Secretary of the Treasury said that cheap goods was not a part of the American dream. Well, I'm somebody who spent almost my entire life in public service. We lived on our paycheck while we raised 3 kids and put 3 kids through college. Cheap goods are a big part of it. And I think we ought to be candid about that.
I just got thinking as I'm driving into work today, dropping my son off at school, filled up the gas tank, and I realized gas prices, $2.98 a gallon. Got paid this week, still paying taxes, income tax. Oh, guess what? Still paying property tax. Guess what? We're still paying tax on overtime. So then I started wondering, Is it just a different face with the same old frickin' story? It seems like no matter who's in charge, we get hyped up at the beginning before they get in that big change is coming. Big change is coming. Wow, we're gonna all have all this money. No matter who goes in, it's the same shit. The government wins, you lose. And I realize I need new brakes and rotors on the back of my car. It's grinding when I stop. My dryer's broken. Somehow I gotta buy a new damn dryer. But how do we pay for it all? You wanna know what? We can't. You wanna know why? Because the government takes all of your money. What do they do with it? They sure as hell don't fix the roads. Just drove 30 minutes from one town to the next today and just about took the tires and the alignment out of my car. Bang, bang, bang the whole damn way. Where's the money go? All this money we give them, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, and what do they do with it? I'd like to know. They're supposed to get to the bottom of it. A lot of big arrests coming. Guess what? Not one arrest. Different face, same story. You know what that means? We're all just living the old American dream, aren't we?
You can feel it everywhere, in the voices of tired workers, in the eyes of stressed parents, in the silence of empty bank accounts. Americans aren't just struggling, they are screaming. But is anyone in power really listening? In towns across the country, people are breaking. Nurses are leaving hospitals, teachers are quitting in droves. Truckers can't even afford gas, and young people are working trade jobs just to stay poor. Go to TikTok and see a 28-year-old crying in their car because they can't afford rent. Families choosing between insulin and groceries. Veterans living in tents under bridges. These aren't rare stories, they are becoming the American norm. Rent is outpacing paychecks, credit card debt is setting records, healthcare costs more than your life is worth. Most Americans now believe they will never retire. They will just work until they die. This isn't the American dream, it's economic warfare. This isn't about laziness or bad decisions. This is about a system that's designed to drain the working class and reward the ultra-rich. The dream was sold to us. Work hard, play fair, and you will succeed. But that promise has been broken. You can't build a life on slogans. You can't raise a family on exposure. And you sure can't survive when the deck is stacked against you. If you feel this, the pressure, the pain, the silent panic, you are not alone. Leave a comment and share your story. Are you still chasing the dream, or have you had to let it go?
I honestly don't know how people 18 to 30 right now are just going to work and acting like nothing's happening. This is going to be a deep dive into the modern American dream and what people need to realize if they're young in their career right now. And if you are just doom scrolling, go ahead and go to the next one. But if you are actually serious about taking career advice from someone who has left a $300K a year corporate job to run their own business in 2025, let's talk. I just want to give you a little bit of context as to where we are at and mapping this to past trends in the US. My mom's parents, my dad's parents, neither of them went to college. They grew up in a small town, a manufacturing town back when the United States was the manufacturing capital of the world. And what happened when I go to their towns now, which is a small town in Indiana and a small town in South Carolina, there's a graveyard of factories that are completely empty. They have been deteriorating for 20 to 30 years. Right now, if you are 18 to 35, we are just like our grandparents who are working at a factory. There's a clear path. Maybe you're in tech and there's a high-paying job. You can save money, you can live a good lifestyle. But you know what just happened? And this is the same shit as our grandparents experienced is, hey, they're working at the Ford factory and it's going great. But you know what? GM just announced they're moving their facilities to China. And oh, you know, that's okay. You know, hey, Cursor is replacing the need for engineers at tech companies. You know, some of the biggest investment banks in the world are forecasting a recession, but hey, it hasn't hit me yet. I'm making 150K. I'm just gonna save 10% more this month. The same exact shit is happening right now, guys. And if you are 18 to 35, you have two choices. You can hold on to your slightly above average, higher than normal paying job, and you can wait 3 to 5 years until you finally get cut, and then you've got to figure it out when you're even more entrenched in your lifestyle, or you can actually start building or changing careers right now. If you have the ability to go really deep on the technical side and you understand that world, maybe that's a path for you. But if not, and I'm dead serious, guys, you need to learn how to sell right now. I don't see a path in 2050 and beyond where almost any type of job is still in demand. Now, sure, there's going to be programmers, there's going to be analysts, there's going to be lots of different, traditionally high-paying roles, but with how much software is doing, there's going to be less of those jobs available because AI is going to be a co-pilot and making those jobs execute much faster with less people. And additionally, the pay bands for those, which right now a highly skilled software engineer can still command 400 to 500K, that is going to slow down, and overall, on average, that is going to come down further and further. There is no advantage anymore in being a great programmer like there was between 2000 and 2020, where if you were the first person to market, you made the first Uber of whatever, you had a real chance of building a successful, fast-growing business. That is commoditized. I built a ChatGPT bot yesterday in an hour that automated 5 hours of work per week, and I don't even know how to program. So if you do not know how to sell, I recommend getting an entry-level sales job at a reputable company, especially if you have a solid background, so you can just understand the skills of how to carry a one-on-one conversation, how to sell a higher ticket item business to business, and or maybe you don't necessarily want to do that if you are not learning how to play the social media game, if you are not trying to build a YouTube, a TikTok, or an Instagram. Just pick one. You don't have to do all three at the beginning, but if you are not learning that, guys, I don't see a future where 10 years from now, you're going to have a real chance to compete against AI and so many jobs. So with that being said, I'm giving honest career advice of someone who has left their 300K corporate job because I built an online business that is bigger than that salary. If you want more of that advice, that is what this channel is about. And I also make tons of free in-depth guides on YouTube about tech sales as well. So yeah, let me know where you're at. Let me know if you agree, disagree, and we'll see you guys later.